Welcome to Crossroads. I'm your host, Joshua Philipp. Today we have a great segment in store. We're speaking with Allan dos Santos. He's an independent journalist in Brazil, one of the biggest media in Brazil, in fact, and fighting against fake news. He's here to talk to us about some of the changes in Brazil under Bolsonaro and how what's happening in Brazil could change Latin America, and not just Latin America, Central America, the whole region. Why Brazil matters. So, Allan, real pleasure having you on the show.
I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much. And it's important for America to know what is going on in South America and why is somehow connected to US. Thank you very much.
Great. So before we get started, please remember to like and subscribe. Need your support. But Allan is an interesting character. Now, I understand that, you're an independent media, but when Bolsonaro was running, of course, he used social media to, basically win the presidency, and you were the only media he trusted in Brazil. Tell us about that before we get started.
Yes, Bolsonaro, he was a congressman who wanted to change the situation of elections in Brazil. All the presidential election, we didn't have the real talk about what is really going on in Brazil. The previous elections, the candidates spoke about bus ticket, talking about road, but no one was talking about drug dealers, the violence, what's going on in Brazil, the economy. And Bolsonaro brought these topics that really hurt the people. And then he got very famous because all the media, this is not a metaphor, all the media was trying to crash Bolsonaro, trying to destroy his image, creating a narrative that he was a crazy person just because he wanted to make an echo of the people's scream on the streets. And then Bolsonaro, little by little, was conquering hearts of the people, but that never got a chance inside the media. The mainstream media in Brazil just speak about lies against Bolsonaro, never say something that he really is doing as a president, never say what he really did as a congressman. And then even a small media like ours, our media, using YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, even this small media got a chance to interview him several times because he saw that we just want to say the truth to our audience. We never hide that we really want to promote the conservative mind in politics and economy, promoting free press, free commerce, free trade, and all stuff. And then we really got his attention, and then we got close to each other. And this is pretty good for me because now I can talk to the president and see what's going on and asking himself. This started two years ago when nobody believed that Bolsonaro could be a president. And so far, we have this contact, and I'm very glad for that.
And I understand this has come with a pretty steep cost. They stabbed Bolsonaro. People tried killing him. I know you've gotten death threats, from what I understand, from these different communist groups, and you're fighting as we speak against the fake news. You're going to Parliament pretty soon to go talk about this. Tell us about this briefly.
Yes, differently from the media in the U.S., to have a TV here in Brazil, you need to be allowed by the government. And the best way to keep this media is receiving money from the government, from our companies that is a part of the government. It's not a private company. So once you get this advertising from the government, you will get a lot of money. And you can keep your business as a media. So Terça Livre, our media, never wanted to have this money in our pocket. So we just sell the products that we promote in our shows, uh, online courses, books, and a digital magazine. But we defend the conservative way of view, way of life, so strongly, and defending Bolsonaro against these lies, that they create a narrative that we are somehow receiving this money. They have no proof of that. They cannot show any document saying, here is the money that Terça Livre is receiving from the government. But we are not. Uh, although all of them who try to put this frame on us, they really receive money from the government.
And that's how they always operate, right? They accuse you of what they're guilty of, right?
Exactly. And then they started. They tried to make this frame, but without any documents, without any proof, they cannot say that openly. Say, here is the proof. Here is the document that shows you receive money from the government. Once this strategy falls, they try to say that we are fake news. We are promoting fake news. We are saying fake news. It's weird because nobody can say really, how can I say, nobody can really describe what is fake news. Because once you are saying lies against someone, we have the law to protect the person, right? You can go to the jury and say, look, this person is lying against me and saying that I'm committing some crimes or speaking just lies about my family, about my business, and so forth.
Yeah,
And
defamation.
fake news,
Yeah.
yeah,
Go
and
ahead.
and fake news indeed. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, we call that in the U.S. defamation. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, we do not have a definition of what is fake news because it's not just lie. It's a lie with intention. It's not. Nobody believes that a journalist is somehow so perfect that will never be in a mistake, never will do a mistake, never will speak some error or something like this. Nobody believes in that. But we know very well that some people, some groups, especially the socialists, the communists, because this is their modus operandi, the word in Latin that explains how they work, how they operate. They really wanted to lie to destroy who they say, who they think is their enemies. And they tried to do that with us. But it's funny because even in trials or in jury, some companies, some big companies, a billionaire company tried to sue me several times. They lost every time. They never win.
Oh, there you go. Standing up to him, huh? Now,
Yeah.
tell us why does Brazil matter? The changes that are taking place in Brazil, this shift under Bolsonaro, which it seems that a lot of different groups are really trying to fight against. Why do they care so much? Why does Brazil matter so much?
Well, Brazil used to be very big in economy, in his army. But after the Brazilian Empire, we started a republic that have, I guess, three or two dictatorship, and Brazil was losing uh, their glory. Or say like this.
And around what year was this? Just most Americans, we don't know the dates on the whole
Okay,
history.
yes, in 1889 is when our republic started. So at the end of 19th century, uh, and we have lots of revolutions here, and the most important revolution happened in 1964. So between 1950s and 1960s, we have a very strong communist group in Brazil. There is a book in Portuguese. One of the member who left the Communist Party, and he describes how he was formed at a communist committee the Communist Party, the Russian Communist Party committee in Moscow. And they spent 1 and a half year studying, starting at 9 a.m., going to 12 to noon, and then come back into 1 p.m. and then 4 p.m. They have like a break and until 6 p.m. every day studying the communists. And in this book, this guy related. He speaks openly how Russia could give arms and gunfire to Brazilian Communist Party to take over the country. They really fall in this strategy. And then we have a military regime until 1980s. At that time, 1986, 1987, they started to create a new constitution. That is our actual constitution from 1988. From this time to now, we didn't have at least one right-wing president, just leftists, and this president who says, no, there is no communism anymore. We need to get close to anyone. So, for example, Brazil has an embassy. Brazil started an embassy with North Korea at the 90s. Later on, Russia and China became very strong, very close and strong friends of Brazil.
And people
China
don't realize
is
that
right now.
Yeah, China, Iran, and Russia still have heavy influence in that region. A lot of people don't realize this, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And Brazil right now has China as his biggest trade, biggest friend in trade. But that used to be USA. There is just two moments in Brazilian history when USA was not our strong friend or strong ally in trade. We have the first time that happened in 1940s when the Nazis was our strong ally, and after that with Dilma Rousseff from the Workers' Party, and then became China. Without these two periods, the US used to be our strongest ally in economy and technology and information and so forth. But that did not happen from nothing. There is a forum called Foro de São Paulo.
Yeah, the Foro
started in
ao São Paulo. Yes. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, so the Foro de São Paulo was created by Lula da Silva and Fidel Castro. They wanted to create a group to become the strongest group, the strongest socialist group in whole South America and Central America.
So that was between Brazil and Cuba, this socialist alliance, and they wanted to use that to take over Latin America with socialism, right?
Yes. And then they started to do that in our culture, in our religion, in our economy, in even our army, in our politics. So they used the money.
And that started what in the U.S. we call the Pink Revolution, which was all these socialist regimes that took over pretty much every country in Latin America. And really, it took a lot of countries like Brazil and Venezuela, which were some of the top rising economies in the world, and just tanked them. Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah.
So, and then when they started that, they did that slowly. They didn't want to go and get power instantly. They worked very well in very strong and depth details. These deep details they went to, like in our culture, in our theater, in our music, in our religion. They put lots of people inside every spectrum, every aspect of our culture to get in power in 2001 with Lula da Silva. And then everything was very, very clear for most of people in media, uh, in our academy, but that was uh, too late because I'm talking about the old guys, right? The old style journalists, old style musician. They got they realized too late. Then Olavo de Carvalho, that man in his picture here, he wrote lots of books showing what is really going on in Brazil, what's really going on in South America. They started to unmask them with two, three, or four books and lots of articles in magazine. Once he was very, very well respected for the lefts, but when he started to unmask them, and then they called him crazy. But from that time to now, Olavo de Carvalho became very, very known uh, between lots of people who would like to understand what is socialism, what is communism. They really kill people, they really kill kids, they really make people uh, destroy it. Yes, they do. And then Olavo started a counter revolution, teaching people how to reconquer everything they take from us. And then that's why I started Terça Livre. There are lots of people writing books, making movies, even without money, with a lot of difficulties. And then we have a manifestation. It's a manifestation. I don't know how to say that in English. I'm sorry. It's kind of a rally, but it's not a rally. It's a protest. It's The lefty started a protest in 2013, and then people really went to the streets and tried to take our country back. Why Brazil is so important in this situation? Because most of the money they use, the left here in South America and Central America, came from the narcos. But the
The
narcos,
drug
it's
traders, yeah.
not their
Drug,
end.
yeah.
Yeah, the drug dealers. So this money from narcos and the drug dealers, it's not their end. They are using it just to create power, to take over the countries, get money, and destroy the families. And it's very strong and important for us because this is like an arm of China and Russia in South America.
Yeah,
They can
there's
control
a
ocean.
great book in English on this called Red Cocaine by a guy named Joseph Douglas. He talks
Yeah,
about
that
how,
book's
oh,
awesome.
there
I
you
know.
go. Talks about exactly
Yep.
how they do that. Yeah, go ahead though, and why they did it. Yeah.
Yes. So most of people think, oh, Lula da Silva was a very popular president. People loved him. Well, to be honest, lots of poor people really liked Lula because he gave lots of things to them. You know, in America, you are starting listening to people that will once they will be in the power, I will give you a job, I will give you money, I will give you credit, I will give you a car and a house and so forth. But someone needs to pay it. Someone needs to pay that back. And then when Lula gave all these things in for our farmers, the man who works in uh, on big cities, someone needed to pay that back, and that was a problem because people started to realize to give all of that, Lula da Silva needed to to rise taxes. And then he started to rise taxes, rise taxes, rise taxes, and then people realized that we are broke. And this was very awful for all of us because imagine Brazil used 7.2% of the territory in agriculture. 7.2. So imagine if we could use 10% of that. We could be big and great with a strong economy. We do not have a free market in Brazil. Bolsonaro is starting doing that, and of course, where China could make how do you how to say in English laundry money.
Yeah, launder
Is that
money.
what it's
It's
saying?
accurate, yeah.
Yeah, where China could launder their money. In Brazil, of course, because here you can buy lots of lands, here you can buy companies, and once you are strong, there is no free market, you will be the biggest in a second. So that's what they are doing now. And Brazil is very important because we can stop the drug dealers. We can stop Russia and China building their power in South America. It's very important people know that communism didn't die. They just changed the strategy. And it's weird because when you read their books, when you read their strategy, they say that very clear. We do not have a doctrine because we need to adapt according to the country we want to attack. There is a quotation from Mao that he says, communism is the international Marxism, but we need to take some patriot characteristics to get in power. I'm translating from Portuguese right now, I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah.
But that's what he says. There is no a doctrine that we can say, oh, look, this person is a communist because they are speaking, or this person is speaking something. But it's not. It's because what they do. We need to look at what they are doing. They want to make trade, they want to have money, and therefore they are not communists anymore. Lie. This is a lie. And people are following this lie every time, Josh.
So if Brazil can change, if one of the main countries that helped turn all of Latin America red in terms of communism, right? If Brazil can turn that around, what does that mean for Latin America?
Well, first of all, we will give hope. I know it sounds like more spiritual or something like this, but that's true. I speak with my friends in Chile, I speak with my friends in Argentina, Uruguay, and Paraguay, and so forth. And if Brazil loses, they do not have any hope anymore. Brazil is the strongest economy in South America. If these countries have a Brazilians help, they can fight back. But if we win, we can change their economy. We can change their. We can not stop corruption because it's an utopia, right? But we can make the corruption be charged for their mistakes. You know, the corrupted people could be in jail. Like I'm hoping Hillary Clinton could be in jail soon in America because the view that we have in America, the image that we have in America, it's the law works, you know. And why Hillary is walking free, we need to work together to put our corrupted politician in jail, and you too in America need to put your corrupted politics in jail. We need to give hope to them. But it's not just a feeling, right? We can help them with army. We can help them with technology. We can help them with economy and trade and so forth. Right now, Brazil is starting changing things here. But the media is attacking Bolsonaro since the first day. I'm not kidding. The first week of Bolsonaro in office, the media didn't say at least one word that, welcome, President. Now you are in office. No, it's just attacking, attacking,
Yeah,
attacking.
well,
And they know.
even the American media here, they never say anything positive about him. And for us, it's very hard to get news on Brazil because of that, actually.
Yeah, it's like our economy is not going well, right? It's when you see the media, oh, how can I invest in Brazil? Look what's going on there. It's a mess. No, it's not right now. By the first time, Brazil is getting record after records in economy, in infrastructure, in lots of things because the government is working right now. But what the media is speaking about Brazil is controlled by the socialists. And we have, just to give an example, the CNN in Chile said Bolsonaro is connected to Marielle assassination. That was incredible because they have no proof of that. It's a media outside of Brazil, in Chile, lying against our president. This is national security problem, and
Right.
that happened.
Yeah.
And that happened with the president of Argentina too. He said that Lula is an innocent. He could not be in jail. This is also a national security problem. And that's what we are facing in Brazil right now. A president who wants to rule the country according to what people want to, and the media it's not helping at all.
Now, Allan, if there's, I guess, last question, if there's anything you want people in America to know about Brazil, just short, what would it be?
Well, you need to know about Brazil the things that you want to avoid, and you American people did not lose yet. So do not believe in healthcare. They destroyed our country saying that. Do not believe that the government is the solution because they destroyed our country saying that. Do not believe that drug dealers are good guys. They need to be treated as good person, good people. Do not believe that an assassin it's a good person that didn't have education because they destroyed our country with that. So if you can do something in our country is please believe me, defend your flag, defend your history, defend what make you American people the strongest economy in the world. We are trying to go to this path, but there are some people, some politicians in America lying for you because they do not want you to know what happens with in a country that applies everything, every lie they sell in their speech.
Great. So, Allan, where can people find more about your work?
Well, in Portuguese is Tercalivre. Terça Livre. It's hard to expel because tercalivre.com. They can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And I hope that people will come here to watch. We have just one show in English, Update Brazil, with Jeffrey Nyquist, who is a very great man, analyst, politician.
We've had him on this show too. He's a great guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sorry about my English. I don't practice for a while, but I hope that you guys understand.
No, you're great. Hey, Allan, real pleasure having you on. We'll have to get you on again sometime. Yeah, really great having you on the show.
Thank you.
Great. And everyone, please remember to like and subscribe. Need your support. See you next time.